All right, so we're here for All-Star Weekend. How did we get here? How did we get to an All-Star game in Indiana where Caitlin Clark is not healthy enough to play? Well, it all started last year in her rookie season where she received 20% of all the flagrant fouls in the league. And most of them came from Angel Reese in the Chicago Sky. And these weren't basketball plays. They were not only fouling her, but they were getting up, laughing about it, laughing about Caitlin Clark getting assaulted. Any other work environment, people go to jail for what's going on. And last year, I noticed how much it was just Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark was taking all the hits. Caitlin Clark was taking all the abuse. But this year they've added Sophie Cunningham. She gets more flagrant fouls on her than anybody in the league besides Caitlin Clark. And Aaliyah Boston, she's been taking hits as well. But the worst thing is the consistency. So they don't call flagrant fouls, or most of the time, Caitlin Clark could be held for an entire game at a time. They don't call fouls. They don't call common fouls. But then when it's the Indiana Fever, guess what? Touch foul here, touch foul here. They call absolutely nothing. They play against Breanna Stewart. She goes to the line 14 times. Asia Wilson goes to the line 13 times. And Aaliyah Boston can't play 20 minutes in a game without being on the bench in foul trouble. That's another problem that we're dealing with. But like I said, this year, it's not just Caitlin Clark. If you wear that Indiana Fever jersey, consider it done. The refs are not going to be fair, and they are going to cheat and do whatever it takes to do what the higher-ups say. But the climax to all this last year came down to the playoffs. Yes, she's received more flagrant fouls, and actually probably they called about 5, they could have called about 20. But the playoffs came around, and they were playing the Connecticut Sun. The first game, Caitlin Clark got eye gouged with a fingernail. We know this happened. They didn't call even a common foul. And then the next game, she got just attacked by Mabry in the air. And then she also had DeWanna Bonner come underneath her legs while she was shooting a 3. And like I said, these should have both been flagrant fouls, and they weren't even called fouls. So there was 3 flagrant fouls in the playoffs. And that was like the climax. What the whole year came down to was the playoffs. How far can we go? And it came down to the referees not calling fouls. My question is, could Caitlin Clark make her own league? What do you guys think? You would start off with a league where we know 50%, at least 50% of the viewership is Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever fans. And also, you wouldn't have 40 years of debt starting off the business. I mean, you would get rid of the commissioner. You would get rid of the referees, because that's really where most of this is stemming from. Obviously, there's these jealous players, a lot of the older players that have been in the league for a while that are jealous. But at least if the referees did their job and the commissioner wasn't out to get views by injuring Caitlin Clark, we would have something here. I mean, if Caitlin Clark ends up injured and she can't play due to the refs not calling fouls because her brother tweeted it's the refs' fault. So even though Caitlin Clark's not saying it, that's what her family's thinking. I bet you her dad, if I was her dad, I would think that. Her mom, her brother, that's the conversation held in the Clark's home. Because that's the conversation in any Indiana Fever's house that's actually been watching these games. And Lisa Leslie, one of the all-time greats, and she's been super supportive of Caitlin Clark up to this point in her career. I'm a fan of Lisa Leslie. She was talking about her groin injury still lingers, how hard it was in 2006 when she dealt with that same injury. And when asked, she said it's going to be a hard recovery and it could still linger for years. Lisa Leslie currently plays tennis, and Lisa Leslie is still dealing with issues when it pertains to her groin area. So it sounds like there's not going to be a time table for when this heals. Caitlin Clark is either going to have to play through the pain or sit out the season, because even if she feels like she's good to go 80, 100%, she can make the wrong move, tweak it, and there it goes. Just like we saw in the game. And the craziest thing is Stephanie White, both games, she tweaked her groin. The games were over. It was in the last few minutes, and they already had the team beat. So Stephanie White, what are you doing? Honestly. The pinnacle of this year came the last game Caitlin Clark played before she re-aggravated, I guess not re-aggravated, but she injured her other groin, was when the referees, obviously 2 referees looking at once, missed or just chose not to call so many fouls. And then all the people hating on Caitlin Clark, she got double teamed the entire game, full court press, and they want to talk about stats and compare it to other players. It doesn't make sense to do that. Check out this when I rewatched the game film from the last game Caitlin Clark played. I'm going to get to the flagrant fouls and the altercation with the refs, but let's talk to the bums on YouTube and Facebook that hate on Caitlin Clark, not knowing that she's getting double teamed the entire game. And what does she do? She makes the correct basketball play and gets her teammates buckets. A lot of them like this you won't see on a stat sheet, but her getting double teamed and passing the ball out, she doesn't get the assist, but it's because the entire defense is focused on her. Even her shooting, she gets double teamed every time, double teamed or fouled, and she makes the correct basketball play. Watch this. Full court press. Sheldon goes 0 for 8 because she's so tired from playing defense on Caitlin Clark. Double teamed again. And Aaliyah Boston gets it to Natasha Howard for an easy bucket. She could also score off the double team. This one, she should have had free throws because she got kicked in the stomach and the refs didn't call anything. But you don't see that on a stat sheet. And there's the hockey assist. Like I said, you don't see it on a box score, but it's plays that win ball games for the Indiana Fever. I mean, with one leg, she's making it look easy going against this defense that number one goal is to triple team her, like that play, and stop her. But guess what? The only stat that matters in basketball is the W. And that's what Caitlin Clark gives her team. This pissed me off for so many reasons. Caitlin Clark's wide open. She wasn't having the best shooting night. And this would have gave her an easy bucket to gain some confidence. But her teammate doesn't even look at her and turns the ball over. And like I said, this is what happened this season. This game shows it 100%. Hit to the throat. Punch in the face. This is what the Fever been dealing with all season long. It's so easy to see these fouls. So easy. There's 2 refs watching this play, and she got checked out of bounds. No foul called. Turnover on the field. Then the same 2 pathetic refs watching her get elbowed in the back of the head. Don't call anything. Sophie even told him, I know you saw that. Then Caitlin Clark has to call out the ref. Tell him to grow up and that he's missed all these flagrant fouls.
Who played 9 years in Indiana and now on the mat. And he's still upset and wants an explanation.
But we love every single one of you tonight. I'm going to be checking out Lexi Hall in that 3-point contest. She's taking Caitlin Clark's place. The WNBA trying to salvage some Indiana Fever fans. They know we're pissed off at the commissioner, the refs, the entire league. But we got to support Lexi. I'm going to be checking it out. And then also in the All-Star game, Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell deserve every single thing that's coming to them. They are going to do awesome. And hopefully Caitlin Clark being the assistant coach, I'm sure it's going to be fun watching her help Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston, just like she does when she's out in the Fever games. It's fun to watch Caitlin Clark just being a coach. One day she's going to be one heck of a coach. But thank you so much. We love every single one of y'all. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.